Thank you, Professor Tim Powers, Professor Paul Chesty, and all participants. Allow me to express my appreciation again. Thank you for having me after my first visit last May. And it was indeed one of the most memorable visits to a university. This is one of the oldest, and it was a very brief visit. So we planned to do a second one, and we thought by the time I completed my term as governor, we will have more time. That's what we thought. Apparently, that's not the case. And this is my second, and I truly appreciate the invitations, not only to the university, but also the invitation to serve as one of the board member for the Institute for ASEAN Studies here at Oxford University.
Now, with regard to using bahasa as ASEAN language, we need to enrich our language to begin with. I don't know how many words in Malay today. How many words of Malay? The number of words in the Malay language. How many? Anyone? In bahasa Indonesia, we have 150,000 words in bahasa Indonesia. And I remember when I started my job as Minister of Education, at that time it was only around 90,000. So I told our team, we need to enrich our language because 90,000 is not enough. Do you know how many words in the language, in English language? 1 million. And 7,000 additional words every year. How many languages in Arabic? 12.7 million words. Okay? So when you talk about our language becoming a language of international community, you really need to do our homework, enrich our language. How do we enrich our language? Absorb local language across the archipelago. Across the archipelago. Because in many local languages, even the word falling, it can be 20 words of falling. If you fall to the front, that's a different word. If you fall to the back, that's a different word. If you fall because it's slippery, that's a different word. And if you fall because there is a hole, it's a different word. What I'm saying is that, richness of language is important when you present it to the international community as an international language. So that is why it's important for us here in Indonesia and Malaysia to continue enriching our language so that we can stand up in the international community and presenting our language to the world. But if we haven't done our homework, wait a minute, okay? Hold on. So
October the 16th. I have served for 5 years, and it has been a great 5 years, and it was challenging 2 years during the pandemic. It was a trying period for all of us, and we're grateful we survived. We learned a lot from that period, and during this period of my tenure, I have been benefiting so much from the partnership that we had, various different countries, the various partnership that we had. In our meetings, be it the formal bilateral meeting, be it our meeting in a more informal setting with many of you, most of you, in the past few years has been enriching to myself and to the city. And therefore, before we ended our term, myself and the Vice Governor, we would like to invite all of you to come and for me.
Ngomong 2 menit, Sekjen PBB langsung setujui. Usulan Anies Baswedan.
Governor Baswedan, you've already influenced the United Nations with 2 minutes. Imagine if you had 4 minutes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, good morning, everyone. The Honorable UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, fellow governors and mayors, ladies and gentlemen. It's the city government has a duty to provide livable living environment for its residents. And this includes addressing climate change impact by making efforts
to reduce cities' carbon emissions. Cities globally have done so by putting in place commitments and resources in establishing climate action plan and delivering actions in transportation strategies, building codes, promoting clean energy, and many, many more. So, ladies and gentlemen, cities across the globe are taking bold actions. So is Jakarta. Jakarta commits to be a climate resilient city, and at the moment, Jakarta is moving from car-oriented development to transit-oriented development. And Jakarta is leading in sustainable transportation and mobility transportations, and we would like to continue even further. So in these occasions, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to propose the assistance that cities needs from the UN. The UN may have a big role for supporting cities across the globe. First of all, the UN could encourage countries to acknowledge the achievements of climate actions at the city level, and that need to be calculated as part of national determined contributions of climate actions. Secondly, within the United Nations capacity, the organizations could lend a hand to foster vertical and horizontal integrations at actions and at policy levels. Lastly, toward the COP26, the United Nations could also support countries to develop comprehensive architecture and financing structure to translate the benefit that are obtained by national government in the global forum to be executed at the local level. Thank you very much.
If I may interrupt, I just would like to say that we are fully on board with your suggestions. We'll do our best with our agencies and country teams to fully support your perspective and in our global advocacy with governments to do exactly what you ask us to do in relation to your own governments.
Thank you very much. Truly appreciate.
Well, Governor Baswedan, you've already influenced the United Nations with 2 minutes. Imagine if you had 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Halo teman-teman, berjumpa bersama saya di Politik Dangi. Ya, luar biasa sekali bagaimana pidato Anies Baswedan yang sangat menggelegar, yang sangat hebat dan berbobot teman-teman. Kalau kita melihat ya, kemarin pidato Prabowo Subianto di acara PBB teman-teman, itu tidak luput dari kritikan yang luar biasa dari Anies ya, bagaimana Anies menyoroti tentang Indonesia sudah lama, bahkan 1 dekade tidak hadir di forum-forum internasional ya, dan apalagi di PBB teman-teman. Dan kritikan dari Anies ini membuat mungkin Prabowo mendengarkannya dan akhirnya mengikuti pidato tersebut teman-teman di PBB. Dan demikian juga Anies, bagaimana Anies selalu hadir di forum-forum internasional, di forum-forum yang luar biasa, bahkan berkelas-kelas dunia teman-teman ya. Dan inilah kenapa Anies Baswedan yang dianggap diolok-olok teman-teman ya, ternyata beliau mempunyai sumbangsih yang sangat hebat bagi Indonesia, mengharumkan nama Indonesia ya di kancah internasional. Dan kalau kita melihat bagaimana kejeniusan, bagaimana kehebatan Anies membuat kita bangga teman-teman. Bahkan Anies selalu menjadi buah bibir di mana-mana. Kita berharap Anies akan menjadi pemimpin Indonesia di masa depan. Bagaimana kehebatan beliau, ya kecerdasan beliau teman-teman ya dalam mengatasi semua persoalan. Ya saat ini Anies sedang bekerja sama ya untuk membantu masyarakat, apalagi ormas-ormas yang beliau bangun itu membuahkan hasil teman-teman, membantu masyarakat kecil dan membela hak-hak rakyat kecil. Bagaimana menurut kalian?